scarcely one country the most when talking about international relationships. Right now, Japan is sending the message that no, we're not attacking you because this arm is only for self-defense. But in a case where Japan is starting to have military power, we believe that this will send a message to adjacent countries and all the other terrorists and everything that yes, Japan may attack you, which means that that'll make them scary. That'll make them a threat that Japan might attack those countries. And we believe that in that case, the amount of military power that other countries will hold will increase, and therefore the global security will actually be damaging. And that's why we stand on the opposition side today. So what we support and what we don't support on our side. So we support peacekeeping and giving money and all those things. And we support that status quo, which the military power is only used for self-defense and internal security. But what we don't support is having military power, which means like a threat to other countries, and which means that Japan can actively participate in regards to war. We say that we don't support this. And the government side, they give us like the principal view of like, they can actually increase those international cooperations and all those things. But they haven't proved to you why Japan has to do it uniquely in this way, right? Because even if the money, Japan has given money, they still get international support right now from when in fact Japan has only given money to the Gulf War. So why is not paying money a non-legitimate way? And why are Japan have to cooperate and uniquely in this way? And that's the question that they have to answer from the Deputy Prime Minister. So moving on to my argument. So first of all, I'll analyze how this worsens the security of Japan by analyzing from two perspectives. First of all, from the forces that are against Japan, such as China or such as terrorists. And number two, from the United States, which are said to be allies from not yet allies to Japan. So first of all, from the forces on China's interests. So I'll mainly focus on China because it's one of the strongest military countries, as well as it is one of the adjacent countries of Japan. So the reason why China doesn't want Japan to hold military power is because Japan has committed those atrocities where they have massacred those people, right? So in that context, when Japan starts to hold military power, this will become a threat and fear to those China, because they will fear that atrocities will happen again. And as I said, those will send a message to China, yes, Japan may be attacking those China. And but they also feel the sense of betrayal because they have broken the 70 years of promise, not yet, that Japan won't attack other countries, right? So we say in this context, what will happen is yes, China will condemn Japan, saying that this is like a warning, or they might give them economical sanctions, saying that no, you should stop this and we're not cooperating with you as long as you stop holding military power. But more importantly, we believe that this will incentivize China to increase having more weapons, because as long as once Japan holds it, we believe that China will have a hard time to beat Japan when it gets into conflict. So China will have more incentive to hold a military power, and because Japan wasn't a threat before then, but now it's a threat to China. And we say like this is important because not yet. Because in the best case scenario, in their best case scenario, yes, Japan may have enough power to protect themselves, and yes, Japan may get like more international support, but we say like China will try to have more power, which means the whole amount of those military power will increase, right? So we say like Japan will not try to keep that security from one of the really adjacent countries, which may be like an imminent threat to Japan. And we say like this is not only the case for Japan, but we say it can be said in other countries such as North Korea or military power. North Korea, they have like those nuclear weapons, and we say as long as this can happen, we say we should not dare try to hold a military power. Yes.
Under your logic, if Japan doesn't have a military, then it can successfully convince China that it will not be a military threat. But after 70 years of not having a military power, why is China still afraid of Japan? Can you please explain that?
We say that China will be afraid when they start to possess military power, right? Because back then, we only had self-defense forces throughout the entire time, which means that they knew that as long as China didn't attack Japan, Japan won't attack you. But in this context, we don't know, right? We don't know if Japan is suddenly all of a sudden attacking China or not anymore. And we say that this is going to be bad. And also not only for China and other adjacent countries, but also terrorists. Because we believe that those Islamic states will be mad because Japan is part of the Western countries. We say like as long as ISIS will be like a threat, Japan will be like a threat to ISIS, we say like this will actually give them more incentive to sanction Japan in terms of ransom, in terms of everything. But also more importantly, for the United States. So they say like the United States, Japan needs to be independent from the United States. But fact is, and Japan is like, US is only having allies because Japan wants to be like a super strong power country, right? But we don't say so because we say Japan is an important partner to the United States, not in terms of military, but also in terms of economical things, right? We say like Japan and America hold strong bonds within the economical situation, and we say like United States won't have that much incentive to actually abandon Japan, because one, that means they will be they'll be losing one important economical partner, but also because like Japan, like the Russia might go to Japan once the United States abandons them, right? So we say like United States won't have that much incentive to actually abandon Japan. And they give us like an example of Trump, but Trump isn't elected in the first place, right? So he can like basically whatever he wants. Like as long as like right now, because Obama actually secures those U.S. and Japan ally, right? So we say like as long as he becomes the president, that mindset might change. So they're like the benefit or the harm that they're talking about is like merely on the possibility, right? Not such thing intangible. But on the comparison, yeah, we don't know what the United States will do. But like on the comparison where China will definitely try to hold more military power because Japan is a threat, we say that we should actually not dare to hold military power, but stick to status quo where Japan is sending that strong message that no, we're not attacking you, and therefore you don't have to hold a strong power anymore. And that's why we're very proud to.